Hi everyone, it's Cassandra from Nanny Knows, and this week I put a question out to parents and I asked, what is the biggest parenting challenge you're currently facing as the parent of a 2-year-old in their terrific 2 stage? So one response from a mom was that she said her little one is growing into their independence and personality, yet still having the needs of a little one, which requires mom and dad's assistance. And I think that is describing toddlerhood, hitting the nail on the head, and pretty much in a nutshell. So if we look at the toddler years, the next stage of the development after being a baby, the terrific twos, as I like to call them, really start at the age of 11 months. And the reason for this is that they realize that they are their own person. They start practicing their autonomy. So they're really trying to assert their independence. So the terrific twos actually start at 11 months and really refer to a little one's second year of their life, not as one would assume after the age of 2. So we're really looking at that second year of their life. Um, and this stage of development, the toddler years, would go from about 11 months till the age of about 3, where they are practicing their autonomy and their independence. It's a huge part of their stage of development. So typical behaviors that a lot of parents would describe would be, my little one's defiant, they are stubborn, they are extremely strong-willed, they like to do things their own way, they don't listen, or they're uncooperative. So those are really a lot of descriptions that parents give of their toddlers, and which is very much the case in little ones. They are assertive, they do want to do things for themselves, they are learning all about their independence. And so it's really looking about, well, how can you as a parent promote that independence so that you are meeting their need for practicing their autonomy while still doing it within your boundaries and your limits, as well as doing it in such a way that you're fostering their development, as well as you working as a team with your toddler, if that makes sense. So the first thing that you can do is really let your toddler do things independently on their own, and not doing things for them. So I've got an amazing video on this, to really challenge parents to actually take a step back. And it's called 3 Things That You're Currently Doing for Your Child That They Can Do on Their Own. Something like peeling an archie or peeling a banana. Just giving them the opportunity to really try doing it on their own, and not us jumping in and doing things for them, can be very helpful for them in terms of asserting themselves and practicing their independence, giving them lots of those small opportunities throughout the day, and just giving them the opportunity to struggle. It's hard for us parents to see our kids struggle, and we don't like to see them having a hard time. But sometimes, that's really good for them, and really helps them to feel accomplished at the end of the day, to feel proud of themselves for having achieved something, and also gives them the opportunity to fail. And there are huge lessons and massive learning opportunities in those moments when they do fail, to build that resilience. Because at the end of the day, it's not failure that builds resilience, it's how failure is managed that builds resilience, and that's very important. So I would really encourage you to take that step back and just give your toddler lots of opportunities to practice the independence. Then another thing is to allow them and give them the opportunity to make messes, and make mistakes. This is a very difficult one for parents, I know, because a lot of the time we don't feel like cleaning up. We don't, they've made this massive mess and they make them plenty of times throughout the day. And the last thing we want to do is run after our toddler and clean up after them all day. However, it is very beneficial for them to make those messes, and remembering that mistakes are opportunities to grow. There are opportunities to learn. So giving them those opportunities throughout the day are also great. A lot of the time I say as well, give them the opportunity to clean their messes as well. So as hard as it is, sometimes, also them making a mess and trying to clean it up afterwards results in a bigger mess. I know, I totally understand. It's not easy. But with time, these small opportunities that they do receive over an extended period of time, really helps them to learn. So, for example, in a few years' time, when they do make a mess, they're automatically going to clean up that mess on their own. Um, Another thing I really cannot emphasize enough is to give your toddler a can environment. So why I call it a can environment is because often throughout the day we find ourselves telling our little ones, don't do this, no, you can't have that, or don't stand on the counter, don't climb all over the couches, no, you can't have more juice, whatever the case. We're constantly saying don't, we're constantly saying no. And a can environment gives them the opportunity to explore the environment without any restrictions, without hearing constant don'ts or no's, and really just saving those opportunities for dangerous situations. And then using lots of descriptive praise with your little one. So not praising them for doing things well, or saying, oh, good job. You're really descriptive in what you are praising them about. So what that might sound like is, let's say they've cleaned up. What you wouldn't say is, oh, good job for cleaning up. You would say, oh, I see you went and got the broom all by yourself when you made a mess, and you really swept up all your messes, and you threw everything into the bin. So you're describing what they did rather than saying something like good job. You're really describing the process of what they've done, um, to promote that sort of behavior in future. And then another question that you can ask yourself, which I really encourage parents, is um, are you being restrictive, or are you being protective in terms of their development? So, toddlers, because they are practicing their independence, might get themselves into dangerous situations. And in those moments, then, you would be protective. You think to yourself, is this a life or death matter? Can they get seriously injured? Something like running into the road of oncoming traffic, that is definitely a dangerous situation, and you are going to be protective in that situation. But where you might be restrictive in terms of their development is something like doing things for them, rather than just to get the job done quickly, or if they make a mess, you're quickly cleaning it up, or not even giving them the opportunity to make that mess because you don't want to clean it up. Although, as I mentioned earlier, that's totally understandable. Those are certain moments where you would be restrictive in terms of their development. So giving them opportunities within your limits and your boundaries, to practice their independence, will be really helpful for their development. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it was helpful for you. If you've got any more questions, please let me know and I will answer them in my next video.